Welcome, welcome. What is up? What is happening? If you are interested in breath work, meditation, accessing your inner innate healing mechanisms, then you're in the right place. You're in the right place, and I welcome you. It looks like we are live. I've been learning a little bit how to go live right now. Coming to you from my Zoom. As we build up subscribers, it'll let us go directly live on YouTube. That's how it works for some reason. Anyways, welcome, welcome. I invite you to start connecting with your breath. Start connecting with your breath. You don't have to change anything about your breath, although you may find when you bring awareness to your breath, it may deepen. You know, just being aware, like somewhere in your body, being aware of it going in your nose, not your mouth. I really like being aware of the rise and fall of my body as I breathe, and I notice that deepens it right away. I hope you find a comfortable spot to watch this video. Want to join me in having some tea? That could be great. If you'd like to do something to set up your space for breath work and meditation, you can do that. Find a nice cushion to sit on, find a comfortable position. You don't have to be stiff and rigid. I'm burning some sage, cleansing sage. It's nice to sit up straight if you can. If you can't sit up straight, you can lay on your back. And yeah, you can do whatever you want, whatever's comfortable. But it's good to be kind of upright, not slouch. But at the same time, you don't have to be stiff, you know. Spines can sway and move, and energy moves through the nervous system. The very basic breath meditation, if you will. There are many. To me, the very basic, fundamental first part of it is bringing awareness to the breath, and then see how long you can stay with that. Just have your attention on your breath. What do you notice? What I notice is that thoughts come up. And if you do it for a while, then you might get these sudden urges like, oh, I need to take care of this. I need to do that. And so it's totally cool to just sort of like be with that. Be the part of yourself that notices that, oh, there's that. There's that. But what we're doing right now is we're sitting, we're laying down, whatever. We're bringing awareness to the breath. So when you notice that, and sometimes, you know, really deep stuff might come up, or just emotions, or just comfort in your body, whatever it is, and make adjustments, you know, if you're comfortable. But basically, you want to come back to your breath, right? And forgivingly, like you don't have to push those thoughts away or be frustrated with them. Or, I mean, you can. It's like, oh, there's frustration. There it is. You know, you include everything, and you come back to your breath. And like I say, you can notice your breathing with the rise and fall of your body, and there's some specific ways to do that. And you could just do that in general as well. Because your breathing is a natural process that just happens. But it's one of those things that we can be unconscious about, but we can also be conscious about. And for this, if you can, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And exhale fully. That's a big part of it for me, because when you exhale fully, you get more oxygen on the next breath. Swimmers know this. Your head hits the water, you exhale fully, and when you come up for the breath, you get more oxygen. And if you're not doing that, you're not getting enough oxygen if you're swimming. Well, in this, we're swimming in the unconscious. We're swimming in our own consciousness. And if you stick around through the talk, then what we'll do is we can sit together. We could be like focus mates. And whether you're watching live or on the recording, we can sit together and do breath work meditation. There's deeper breath work, and I want to talk about that too. And in the title, I wrote how I used breath work and meditation to recover from depression and chronic illness. So those were two separate times. And the first was when I was younger, a teenager. I was depressed, or I thought I was depressed. I was depressed. And I had other stuff going on, other stuff that was coming up in the psyche, and so, and that's I didn't want to deal with it. I thought I was crazy. And so that can be one of the things that gets us depressed. There's stuff in the unconscious that we don't want to face. There's stuff that's happened in our lives that we don't want to face. There's stuff in our minds we don't want to face. Sometimes we don't know why we're depressed. Some memory stored in our body that wants to come out, and we're not even aware of it. That's why they call it the unconscious, right? And so but I was interested in like spirituality, and I looked for people who could teach me about it, and I started to learn meditation. And then I started to do breath work, transpersonal breath work, with deep, fast breathing and evocative music, and optional body work and emotional release work and mandala drawing and group processing and individual therapy. And over time, I got out of depression. And so I was glad I had those tools later in life when I contracted Lyme disease, a chronic illness. Didn't know about it, didn't catch it right away with antibiotics. And so this breath work, which helps access these inner healing mechanisms, your inner healer, really helped me. And so it's just a slower, more subtle process when you're doing sitting meditation, one breath at a time. And then when we're doing the transpersonal breath work, it's a subtle, but it's like a more profound and more likely to bring up stuff in like a more intense way, and possibly faster. Like some people feel like get years of therapy done in a few sessions, or even in one session sometimes, of transpersonal breath work and holotropic breath work. And if you want to come to Hawaii and do that with me, that's great. And if you want to find someone in your area that does that, that's great too. Let me know if you want help with that. And just throughout the talk, I suggest you practice, and I will be practicing. You'll notice returning to bringing awareness to the breath. And so it's just one breath at a time, seeing what comes up. And as we breathe into things, that gives it a chance to release. Gives you a chance to connect with it and release it. And sometimes it's just a sensation in your body. Sometimes there's no narrative that goes along with it. Yeah, taking a breath, exhaling fully. And your inner healer has what we call a radar, like an inner radar. And so you don't have to worry about like what needs to be processed. What trauma do I need to process to get over this depression? What trauma do I need to process to activate my inner healing mechanisms and help me figure out how to get through this chronic illness? Because trauma can be a very big part of why we don't heal from an illness. Dr. Dietrich Klinkart talks about that. He thinks it's like probably like half of it. And so you don't have to figure out what trauma you're going to process. Your inner or whatever. It doesn't have to be a trauma, whatever insight. Sometimes insights come up. And you might want to keep a journal next to you. And if there's something that you just have to write down, take a minute to write it down. And sometimes it's good to have an actual sit, like we'll do in a few moments, sit for like 15, 20 minutes and do your mandala drawing or your journaling after it. But I keep the journal right here with me, and that way if something comes up, I can at least write it down and then come back to the meditation. Like I don't have to get up and go do something, because we're not Buddhist monks here. We're looking to change our vibration. We're looking to wake up to our inner healer and wake up to like more of who we really are, more of our vitality. And so your inner radar will tell you what's like the next thing for you. So trust that when you're breathing, when you're meditating, trust what's coming up, and include that, let it be there, but also return to your breath. So I'm going to put on a timer, and I'm going to suggest that we meditate for 15 minutes. So there won't be a lot going on in the video. I might occasionally just say something like "come back to your breath." I might give a little coaching as we do this. But you're welcome to, make yourself comfortable. Maybe you want to put on some music in the background. Like I say, burn some sage. I really like to burn sage. As I've mentioned in other videos. And I'm an ex-smoker, but I don't like inhale anything. I don't inhale any smoke anymore. I don't inhale any marijuana smoke. I don't inhale any cigarette, tobacco smoke. The shamans in South America use a special kind of tobacco called mapacho, and some of them inhale it, but some of the shamanic practitioners that I've worked with, they use it. They just blow it on people, and they don't do it habitually. It's way different than the way we do tobacco with all these additives. And you just offer up some intentions, some positive intentions of love and support, accessing your inner healer. Intention matters. So you can think about your intention if you want a bit before we get into this 15-minute meditation. My intention is to support myself in accessing my inner healer. Your intention might be to work with your depression, to work on getting out of depression. It's a hard thing. And maybe your intention is to be persistent with it, even if it doesn't happen right away. Maybe your intention is to get in touch with your source of spiritual inspiration. Maybe your intention is just to be a decent human being and be helpful to other human beings. Intentions matter. And I also invite you to kind of get in touch with that intention. Take a breath, exhale fully, and just let that intention go. Let it be there, but be open to whatever might come up for you. And it's probably, even if you don't think it is, it's somehow related to that intention, or your mind is showing you what's getting in your way of that intention. So I will start in a few moments. I can hear the birds in the background. I don't know if you can hear the birds. I can hear the neighbors a little bit. We don't use air conditioner here. We got windows open, so you might hear some things in the background. And just be with that too. Whatever comes up, just come back to the breath. So here we go. I'll start the timer. I'll give some instructions. There'll be some periods of just quiet. Just remember to keep breathing. So on an exhalation, exhale fully out your mouth. Notice any pause between breaths. Notice the urge to inhale. If your nose is giving you the ability today, then breathe in the nose. If not, breathe in through your mouth. Notice the rise of your body as you breathe in. You can even put your hands on your body if you like. Notice any pause. By the way, keep breathing. You can do this, on an inhalation or an exhalation as you do. But notice any pause after you inhale. Don't hold your breath. Notice the urge to exhale. Exhale fully. You can close your eyes if you'd like. You can acknowledge the inner and the outer by partially closing your eyes if that feels more safe and comfortable to you. Or you can do this with your eyes open, because I invite you to return to this breath again and again throughout your day as well. So it can be a closed-eyed meditation, or it can be a open-eyed mindfulness awareness practice. Again, returning to the breath. Notice if your breath might be deepening because you're bringing attention to it. If you like, you can bring your focus to this midpoint between your eyebrows. Look up into there. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth if you feel to. But keep noticing your breathing, whatever comes up. Lovingly, forgivingly bring that attention and awareness back to your breathing. Being sure to exhale fully. Wherever your mind goes, when you notice it, when you notice that your mind has been somewhere, and you haven't had your attention on the breathing. Just bring your attention back. If you find yourself going into a deep process and you need to let that process happen, if you find yourself very present with yourself, with an experience, it's okay to let that happen. Just come back to the breathing when you need to and when you can. Sometimes you might develop into a very peaceful meditative state and your attention becomes very natural. You can kind of let go of the instructions and the practice. Come back to them when it's supportive to you. Awareness back to the breathing again and again. Exhaling fully. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth if you can. You notice sounds around you. Just incorporate those into the meditation, whether that triggers joy in you or if it triggers something not pleasant in you. Just again, include that and return to your breathing. Exhaling fully, inhaling the nose, exhaling out the mouth. Noticing the movement of your body as you breathe, the feeling of the breath, your nose, not your mouth. If you find it challenging to stay with it, use the breath as an anchor. Breathe into the challenge. You can even lean in a little bit. Breathe into it. Breath is your tool here. You're a breath warrior if you're still with me. I'm super excited, whether you're watching live or on the recording. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me a comment. If you want to use that comment space to do some journaling, if you don't have a journal with you, if there's an insight that comes up and you want to write that down, you can. And just come back to the breathing, exhaling fully, inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. If the nose isn't available, of course, inhale and exhale the mouth. Exhaling fully. If you're just joining us, we're just focusing on our breathing, letting whatever comes up come up, and bringing our attention back to our breathing. Again and again, return to the breathing. If you have feedback, please feel free to put that in the comments. And you can sit with your legs crossed, or you can sit in a chair, you can sit on a cushion. You can make adjustments if you need to. Come back to that breathing. Exhaling fully. You notice that when you bring your attention and your intention to exhaling fully, that you exhale maybe much, much longer than you normally do. And relax your lips when you're exhaling if you can. You don't have to blow it out, burst your lips. Just And my timer is going off. Wow. Was that 15 minutes? I'm curious if I didn't look at the actual time, so it seemed like I said it for 15, but it sure did seem to go by fast. But we're human. We live and learn. We make mistakes. It's all part of it. I think sometimes when people come to start meditation or breath work, some kind of spiritual practice or inner work, inner healing practice, whatever you want to call it, that it triggers this part of us that thinks we have to be perfect. We bring that into it. "Oh, I got to get this right, and it's great to let that go over time if you can. In the same way by just coming back to the breathing, and it's really been something that's been supportive to me in life. And I do it all day long. I come back to the breathing. I start with a meditation and hopefully in the morning and then come back to it all day. And, if you miss a day or whatever, if it's imperfect, I mean, you just come back to it. That's the thing. You just come back to it. So I hope that's helpful. Please feel free to like the channel and subscribe and comment. I'd love to hear your comments, whether it's positive or negative, really. Just don't get abusive. If you have some feedback, say what it is. But, you know, it's all part of it. It's all part of it. And it's so simple, really. I know it seems so simple, but it really is helpful. It really is helpful. I'm curious how you're feeling because after just those couple of breaths, I feel different. I don't think that could have been 15 minutes. I think I must have pushed the wrong button on my timer or something, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm I'm gonna forgive myself. I hope you forgive me. I'm really getting started with this channel, and I'm excited about bringing these things to you. And so yeah, it's subtle but profound, and it all works together. And especially when you get into the deeper, faster breathing, the transpersonal breath work. Find a facilitator to do that and have the emotional release body work with it and therapeutic processing and all that. I mean, discovering that inner healer, awakening the healer within, it really, really changed my life. It really did. And so that's been something that I've continued to learn about and study. And I went ahead and got a degree in psychology as well. And with a focus on integrative health and consciousness and spirituality and it all goes it's really just all it's all part of holistic health to me. And I don't, whatever your religious beliefs or are or not, even if you're an atheist, it's the breath, that human spirit, and that what is inside of us, what is within us that's available for our healing and support of our overall health is just amazing. And it can help you because for example, when I had depression and chronic illness both, there's nobody that has one single answer. So when you can look within inside yourself, if I listened to all the doctors, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Their advice contradicts each other. So, I'm not saying just do breath work and meditation and you'll be healed, you'll be cured. Curing's for a different kind of doctor, by the way, anyway. And that's a whole nother talk. But when you support and cultivate this innate wellness within yourself, sometimes it's bigger than anything else. And so, for example, you might gain insights into which doctor to listen to, which advice am I going to take. Maybe at some point you don't need any advice. But cultivating this inner wellness, that's to me, because still work with symptoms that come up of this post Lyme disease syndrome, they call it. But I don't. When I'm really doing the holistic lifestyle that I do, it doesn't come up. Sometimes I overwork and things, and things come up. But my point is that when I cultivate this inner healer, this sense of innate vitality is just so much bigger than any symptom I have. It's so much more important. It overshadows it. And I think that even to a person on their deathbed, this innate spirit that we have, it brings a sense of wellness, a sense of well-being that could help a person to pass without fear. And sometimes we have fear, and that's okay too. There's so many different things within us. And so I hope that's helpful. I thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next video. There will be more. And so I acknowledge the innate divine spirit in you. Namaste.